There's too much advice out there, right? And it gets confusing. Most is well-intentioned, but some is dangerous. What we see is guru advice and sage wisdom. Guru advice is useful when you have a problem that needs to be solved. When you have a state of being opportunity, you don't have a problem that needs to be solved. And guru advice can actually be really dangerous. We can spend our entire life looking for solutions to problems that don't exist. How do you know? How do you know when you have a state of being opportunity versus a problem that needs a solution? What's the difference? How do you discern this? A problem is something that you can identify. You figure out what it is. I got a mindset issue, I got a business issue, I got a productivity issue, I got a money issue. I need a solution for it. That's great. Find a guru. Find somebody who went through that experience personally, who's like you, and figured out a solution. You'll be set. But if you have a feeling inside that something is missing, and you go solve that like a problem, and you find a guru that had an experience, and they solved that problem, something is missing, you're going to spend the rest of your life struggling with the reoccurrence of that feeling, because something is missing is not a problem to be solved. It's an opportunity. It's a state of being experience. That's very, very different. And we're looking for solutions for that from gurus, from their life experience. It's never going to work. You could spend the rest of your life feeling like something is missing. When I figured this out, everything changed. When I realized that my issue was a state of being problem, not a problem. It was a state of being opportunity. And I figured out what was missing and what to do about it. Everything changed overnight. How do you do it? The road less traveled. There is only one way to elevate your state of experience in this world, and it is to find the road less traveled. Wisdom traditions that are passed through individuals into this world, let's call them sages, are pathways to help do that. They have nothing to do with the experience of that individual. There is no problem that's being solved. I'm going to put a link in the chat to more details in a newsletter. That's it for me.
If you're going to hire an expert, don't hire an expert who says they're an expert. Make sure they've actually done the thing that they're purporting to be an expert on. So the best one is these fucking LinkedIn experts, right? Go see how much engagement and how many views they're getting. I averaged 27,500 views per day on LinkedIn when I'm not banned for the platform, when I'm not banned from the platform. So how many people are these people actually getting? The attention, the engagement. If they're an expert, make sure they've done the thing they say they do. I was referred to a YouTube expert a month ago, and they get 10% as many views as I do. So, and make sure that, make sure they've done what they say that they're able to teach you to do. Don't hire people based on your stupid feelings. People buy in the subconscious based upon emotion, not logic. So when you feel like you're about to hire somebody, stop and think, what questions should I still be asking before I do this? One of the main things you want to do is talk to people's former clients. and ask them what was the good and the bad, and what did they actually get out of that program, or what did they learn from that expert? What were the results that they got from that expert? My clients, usually 95% of them have been ripped off by a fraud before they hire me. So they've been ripped off for between $5,000 and $40,000. In week 2 of my program, they say, how come I didn't learn any of this shit in that program I was in? And I say, I don't know. What questions did you ask that person? So make sure they've done it before. Make sure you're not hiring based on feelings. Make sure that you talk to their former clients before hiring them. You can't fix stupid, and you can't fix lazy. So if you're stupid or you're lazy, you can't be fixed. And hiring somebody won't fix your lazy ass. I am not Jesus. So sometimes people hire me and they expect me to do miracles. You're going to learn practical skills and mindset, but then you have to take the action. You're not going to get different results by doing the same thing. Insanity, Albert Einstein, insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different outcome. The more you want things to be different, the more different you have to do. So if you want things to be significantly and substantially different than the way they are right now, in any regard in your life, you have to do significantly and substantially different. If you do a little bit different, you may or may not get a little bit different results. But if you want massive change, way more money, you want to upgrade from your 25-year-old girlfriend to your 24-year-old girlfriend, you got to lift more weights. You got to eat more shit, more broccoli or whatever. Whatever Popeye said. Everybody's program will fail if you don't follow it. So I know a lot of people that hire people, then they don't listen to the people that they hired. And this is not personal to me, because if you don't listen to me, I'll beat the shit out of you with a big ass stick. But I know a lot of people that hire people and then they don't listen to what the person is telling them to do. And then they say the program doesn't work. So if you're going to hire somebody, Jim Schulman says a lot of times, there was an insurance company. They hired 3 new sales reps every year. The sales rep who came in saying, I know nothing, is the one that made the most amount of money. So when you hire somebody, listen to exactly what they're telling you to do. And if they're really good at what they do, it'll work. If they're not really good at what they do, you didn't ask the right questions on the front end. But don't hire people and then not listen. Certifications. Stop getting fucking certifications. Especially these fake certifications, the entrepreneurship certifications, the coaching certifications. The only person who gives a shit about that is you and the other idiots that are paying money for certifications. Nobody is saying, let me see your coaching certification. Nobody's doing that. Nobody's saying, let me see your entrepreneurship certification. What the fuck does an entrepreneurship certification mean? What does that mean? How many successful businesses have you created? How much money have you made? And not only how much money have you made, because I have a lot of women, most of my clients are women, they hire these women who've made a lot of money. And I say, why'd you hire her? And they say, because she made a lot of money. It doesn't matter if the coach is successful. It's how well are their clients doing? Because you can get rich off of scamming people. And there's a lot of scam artists who are making a lot more money than a lot of the experts that are in this room, because they're better at selling than you are. They have more self-confidence in their scam than you have in your legitimate product. How bad do you really want what you say you want? How much are you willing to sacrifice? To sacrifice means giving up something in order to get something else. There's a lot of people who hire me, and then within a couple of weeks, they say, you know what? I don't actually want to be an entrepreneur. Having a job is not that bad. So make sure you really want the thing you say you want. I'm not going to hire a personal trainer and a dietitian, because I'm not going to work out as much as the personal trainer says, and I'm not going to stop drinking beer. So fuck you, dude. I'm not hiring you. Don't hire people unless you're willing to do it. Lastly, does it feel like work? If what you do feels like work, you're not doing the right work. If you love what you do for a living, you never work a day in your life. And if you're not doing that, you ought to be trying to do that, or just doing that, because we're all going to be dead soon. So you might as well have fun all the time. Tazima and I have the most success, the smartest sex show on earth tomorrow. My job for the rest of today is studying the evolution of attraction to fat asses. That's my job for the rest of today. Studying booty. So if you're not doing that's what I would do for free. So if you're not doing what you love for a living, you need to figure out how to do what you actually love doing. Larry?
Beware of 99 percenters. What does this mean? When you have an interstate personal transformation experience, it goes through levels. There's a final level, the 100% level. We're surrounded by a big power plant. We don't see it. It's right here. The last mile connection into the power plant leads to what's called a quantum leap experience. You enter a different realm of being. That's the last mile. Everything up to that last mile that feels like an interstate experience is. These are exponential leaps towards the last mile. It's totally different. Why is this an issue? These people throughout history have been called false prophets. What's happening in our society right now? They're starting YouTube channels, coaching businesses, and certification programs. They don't know what they're doing yet. As far as supporting others who need or want interstate transformation because they feel like something's missing. If you have a problem, they've had the problem, and if they've solved the problem, that's different. But that's not what a lot of them are saying. They're promising something they don't understand. What's an example of this? Individuals who have practiced mindfulness meditation, who have had an experience of expanding their consciousness, and now are teaching other people how to do the same. The lineage holders of those traditions would never allow that to happen because those people don't understand what they're doing yet. They're apprentices who've hung out a shingle. If you're just like them at exactly the same stage they were at, you're all set.
Lots of people tell me they hired somebody, usually women hiring women, because I liked her. Don't hire people because you like them. Ask them specifically what you're going to learn. The first thing a business coach should teach you is how to pitch. To pitch means to clearly and concisely articulate massive value. So I meet with people and they say, well, I'm not going to hire you right now because I'm in a coaching program. And I asked them to tell me what they do. They couldn't fucking do it, right? So then I said, how long have you been in that program? 6 months, a year, 2 years. You're 6 months, a year, 2 years into a program, and you can't tell people what you do for a living. And you're still paying somebody money for, I don't know what the hell for. But then you rationalize to yourself. They tell me, well, I've learned this and this and this and this. It has nothing to do with making money. It's not about strategy. It's not negotiations and closing deals. It's not mapping out a plan. It's not, you should know in the first week, if you're going to hire a business coach to start a business, the first thing they should tell you, don't ask them this question. Just like women, I don't tell them what I want anymore. I ask them what they want first, because otherwise they'll just agree with me because I'm rich and gorgeous. Ask the business coach, what's the first thing you're going to teach me? And if it's not how to articulate massive value concisely, do not hire that person. You should know how to do that in week 1. Would you hire a broke financial planner? Don't hire a business coach who's never run a successful business before. Would you hire a fat dietitian? Don't hire a business coach who's never created a successful business before. Is your business coach broke? I made $59,200 in the last 50 days, and I own a mountain. Also, my girlfriend's 24. Anything else, Larry? Oh, we're on time.
I think it's Mike's turn.
Yes.
All right, perfect segue. Would you hire a speaking coach with laryngitis? All right, well, it's
You
coming
still
back.
sounded good though, even when you
Well,
said
thank
that.
you. There must be a crook like me in every prison in America. My question is this. You talk about people who pretend to be certain, they're self-anointed experts, they've got a big certification that they designed themselves. As a speaking coach, I'm finding people who are, quite frankly, full of shit. Not all the time. I see some really genuine people as well. But as a speaking coach, okay, I help people get their most genuine voice across. How do I convince them without insulting them that they're bullshitting themselves when they get on stage and say, I am an expert and I know this and I've done this, and how to get people to shift away from their credentials into storytelling without confronting them on being full of shit?
Go ahead, Larry.
So I think the full of shit thing could be explained a little bit more, because I think most people are well intentioned. I think there are a few con artists, but for the most part, I think people are trying their best to be successful. I have found in my own experience that there's a lot of confusion among buyers. And it's kind of like what Sajad said is, are you conscious of what you're trying to do? For me personally, I'm going to disrupt the personal growth transformation industry from the ground floor, because I think it's very confused. There's a difference between personal development and personal transformation. Personal development is I got a problem I'm trying to solve. I have a mindset issue. I need somebody to help me with my mindset. Personal transformation is I have a state of being challenge. I feel like something's missing. That requires a truth, what's called a pathway, not my experience or somebody else's experience to follow. Discernment as a buyer is really important. When you understand that and you fully embrace it and understand their thought process unconsciously, what they're going through, you can start to speak to it. They'll see the truth. You won't get everybody. There's people who are going to be ready and get it. Those are the people you want. I only want financially successful entrepreneurs who are at an inflection point inside themselves, where the little voice inside themselves is telling them, wake up or you're going to screw up your life. Those are the only people I want. I got 10 of them. I know exactly who they are. I know exactly what they want to do and why they want to do it. And I won't let anybody else in. So you want to niche down in a way, not in the traditional marketing way, but just psychologically, into the right people. They'll get it. They'll connect with you, but you got to tell them not how those other people are bad, but what the situation is.
Okay. So
Go ahead, Mike.
Well, I was going to say, you're right. I mean, some people are completely inflating their own egos, but some people, they try and overcompensate they want to convince people how much they know rather than just share their service. And you're right about that. It's that their intentions are good, but their way of explaining it is not.
I've always said, if you feel like you have imposter syndrome, you're an imposter. So there's this whole industry coaching imposter syndrome. Like, well, you feel this. No, you're an imposter. If you feel imposter syndrome, you're an imposter. You don't know what you're doing yet.
Okay, I'm going to talk really fast. So get your pen and paper, ladies, gentlemen, and confused people. Marketing versus sales. I learned this from Larry Call, my old Jew friend. Marketing is putting yourself out there and showing that you're an expert without trying to sell. Then people go from lurkers to stalkers to fans to super fans to clients. So if you do an excellent job of marketing, the people will be attracted to you. 90% of the people who get on my calendar now are looking to hire me, or women that want to get out the hood. Disqualify the wrong people. So give people assignments before you work with them and then see how they respond to it. So I give people LinkedIn tips. I give them 8 LinkedIn tips and then I watch them for 5 days. And if they don't follow the 8 tips I give them, I don't let them hire me. I turn down more than half the people that want to work with me. One lady, 5 days later, I said, "You haven't listened to anything I told you." And she said, "Well, it's so much to keep track of." It's nothing to keep track of. It's a piece of paper with 8 things on it. You're definitely not going to survive my program. In the chat, I put motivational interviewing demonstration. So everybody's going to always do exactly what they want. Nobody's going to ever do what you tell them to do. It has to be their own decision. Hey, Sam. It has to be their own decision on what they do. So you have to ask questions. What they're going to do, you're going to ask questions. They're going to give you answers. Every answer they give you is a flower. At the end of them handing you the flowers, you hand them a bouquet back. You say, "You said you wanted this. Here, you said this is how you're going to get it. You said you wanted this. You said this is what it takes to get it." You can't tell people what to do. They'll never fucking listen to what you say. Never sell. Add massive value everywhere you go. To add massive value means to say things where people write down what you're saying. And a lot of you people are not smart enough to be writing down what I'm saying right now. That doesn't make sense. Add massive value everywhere you go. Don't sell. Know your worth. At the end of my program, my clients have already paid me in full, and I ask them, "How much was this worth to you?" So at that point, they can tell me the truth because the program's over and they don't owe me any more money, and they tell me 4 to 5 times what I charge. A guy from 2 years ago emailed me yesterday, said, "I love you, I appreciate you. You changed my life. You don't charge enough money." Know what you're worth. Know that you're worth a lot more than what you charge. And then you'll attract people who are going to pay you a lot more money. I have more to say, but I'll leave it alone. Larry, who was next, brother?
Sorry. Jesus. So I'm gonna go really quick, and then I want to go through the hand raises. Everybody that I invite into Red Pill Pathway, it's invite only. Gets a journal before we have a conversation about it. So journal. This is what you have to do week 2. This is what you have to do week 4. This is what your life is like now. This is the problems you're going to have going forward. This is what your life's going to be like when you're done, the whole thing. So they can make a decision. I'm not saying do it. I'm saying these are the terms. This is my guarantee, and this is your guarantee to me. Remember Mr. Miyagi from Karate Kid? Let's make deal. I teach you karate, you learn karate. And then he comes and he doesn't want to paint the fence. He says, no, that wasn't the deal. I'm teaching you karate. You learn karate, paint fence. Who was first?
If you ever do an Asian impression again, I'm not coming back. I think Tom was next.
I'll buy into that.
Tom, what's up?
It's just it's not a question, rather a comment, if that's okay.
Sure.
It's my own experience with hiring, and I'm the founder and managing partner of Cogent Law Group, a boutique corporate law firm. And what you're saying absolutely resonates with me in a couple of ways. One, credentials are way overrated, and the legal field is absolutely obsessed with them. Only in big law do they care. It's a crazy industry that you could have an amazing track record of 20, 30 years experience, and they still care where you went to law school. And what it takes to be a good law student is not identical to what it takes to be a great lawyer. And I say that I was an amazing law student and a lousy lawyer. So, my skill is I'm good at finding lawyers who are smarter and better lawyers than I am to come work in my firm. The other thing is, my experience, I have hired as either employees or contractors many dozens of lawyers over the last decade for short and long-term projects. And I can tell you that my conclusion is, unless somebody comes specifically referred from a trusted source, it's very difficult to know if somebody is a good hire, if they're going to work out, if they're going to be a good fit, until you actually work with them. And so everybody we bring on basically on a part-time contractor basis, so they can try us out and we can try them out. And, I find that resumes, references, interviews are good ways to weed people out, but you get a lot of false positives. And I would say that, there's a lot of overlooked talent out there. So anyway, that's what you said, Larry and Sajad. A lot of that resonates very much with me.
Larry, let's do 1 minute on that or 30 seconds on that and then keep going, please.
Well, I have another company. It's passive income for me now. And I built that company with no money. It was all bootstrapped. It's low 7 figures, a little bit over 100 grand a month. And I've got somebody running it for me, and I just get a check every month and I don't do anything. How did I do it? Retired people and expats. How did I figure out who to hire? I asked them what they wanted. And we didn't talk about business. The guy who runs that company right now is a former investment banker. He's an attorney. He wants to live in Spain and go surfing in the morning and have lunch with his family, and he doesn't want anybody to bother him. That's our deal.
A funny lawyer thing. A students in law school become professors. B students become attorneys. C students become judges. Because C students know how to get fucked up all the time and still get through law school. On a serious note, do what you're best at. That's what I was thinking about, Tom. Do the thing that you're best at. What am I best at? Talking shit and dating 24-year-old girls. Do what you do best. Like, I'm great at marketing. I'm great at teaching. I'm great at coaching. And there's a lot of stuff I'm not good at. I have a bookkeeper. I have tech people. I have people for all the things that I don't like doing. And I pay a lot of people a lot of money to do a lot of things so that I can spend most of my time studying fat asses. Alicia.
So it's similar kind of to what Tom Goldstein was talking about. In our business, we want to hire people. I'm sorry, we want clients who will do the work in order to get the results. If they don't do the work, they're not going to get the result. What are some good questions to ask to weed out those who have the money, but who won't necessarily do the work?
I'll go first on this one, Larry. Is that cool? Yeah, I learned this from Donnie Boyven. I don't think he likes me, but he didn't teach me this, which is 2 things. Disqualification. So I have 2 ways of disqualifying. Like I already mentioned, that LinkedIn tips. So giving people small assignments to do. The second thing is I have people read through the contract with me. And then anytime they chuckle, I say, this is not a joke. I'm not kidding. And the last line on my contract says, please confirm you understand I'm not fucking kidding about anything I just said. And then if they chuckle, I say, no. You don't understand. Because one of my provisions is, if you don't follow my program, I will curse you out in public. And then people hire me, and when they don't follow my program, I curse them out in public. And then they email me or call me and say, I can't believe you cursed me out in public. I said, didn't you see provision 2? So I try to get people to not hire me. I try really, really hard. I just say, if you're not going to do this, please don't hire me. Please. I don't even need money for the next year. So please don't hire me if you're not going to follow what I say. And then just try to create processes for disqualification.
Let's give Hank an opportunity because we only have 2 minutes, and then we're going into our first round of breakout rooms.
Larry, you guys are going to have 2 15-minute breakout rooms, and then we come back for a half hour of group conversation.
Okay. When you're looking at a coach and you're looking at different potential coaches, a lot of these people are very masterful salespeople, and they're going to zoom in on every emotional aspect that they can. And of course, I remember just a little while ago, Sajad saying, watch out for the emotional reactions, and ask them the right questions. I had a friend who in our 20s, he told us, I could sell a rat's ass to a blind man as a wedding ring, and he really could. He could sell anything. Did he have ethics? Well, no, not really. But my main question here, are there specific alarm bells to look for when you think somebody might be, trying to apply those kind of sales tactics?
Yes. So study and master the book Persuasion by Cialdini, Robert Cialdini, I think it is. He explains how this works. It's inside you, it's inside all of us. Social proof, authority principle, reciprocity. If you know all that stuff, no one will be able to sell you anything. You'll be able to decide what you want.